Hello friends, welcome to EduTap. I am Prakash. I am a company secretary and a law graduate. And today I welcome you all in the session of MCQ on part 5th of our Indian Constitution. So we have already covered the important MCQs related to previous parts of our Indian Constitution. That is why we are going to cover the important MCQs on part 5th of our Indian Constitution. Right? But before proceeding, one important thing friends, if you want to know anything about SEBI Grade A Legal Officer Examination, or if you have any query regarding the SEBI Grade A Legal Officer Examination, you can make a comment. We will definitely try to come up with the video which can resolve your query. We on our part are trying to give you the best or to cover all dimensions of this examination, but still if any query remains in your mind, you can definitely comment. We will try to incorporate that in any video itself, or we will make a separate video for that also, but we will definitely resolve the query related to this examination, that is SEBI Grade A Legal Officer Examination. So let's proceed. So friends, as you all know that we have launched a course of practicing 5000 plus MCQ course for SEBI Grade A Legal Officer Examination, that too which is relevant for paper 2 of phase 1 as well as phase 2 of SEBI Grade A Legal Officer Examination, right? So as you have idea that notification is expected to be out in the Jan 2022, so that is why we have launched this course, because since very long most of the aspirants have been suggesting or have been requesting to come up with this kind of course, because they are saying that we, being a law graduate, we have already covered more than 90% of the syllabus of SEBI Grade A Legal Officer Examination. So what is lacking here, what they do not have right now, the compilation of MCQs which can make this process easier for them and which can ensure success for them for this examination, that is SEBI Grade A Legal Officer Examination, right? So that is why we have come up with this course. You can enroll, or you can know the details of this course through the link given in the description box below. So basically in this course we are providing chapter wise MCQs, that is the chapters mentioned in the syllabus of your SEBI Grade A Legal Examination. So we will be providing you chapter wise MCQs, and 500 plus free MCQs will be provided to you as a part of bonus, right? So basically you can try here the level of your preparation by solving 500 plus MCQs. So this was about the course. You can know about the course in detail through the link given in the description box below. Now let's proceed. So friends, before starting, if you are new here, then do subscribe our YouTube channel and also join our Telegram channel to get the latest updates and also get the PDF of our YouTube sessions. So now let's begin with today's important session. So the question number first is, the joint sitting of Indian Parliament for transacting a legislative business is prescribed over by, your options are the President of India, senior most member of the Parliament, Chairman of the Rajya Sabha, Speaker of the Lok Sabha, or the Chief Justice of India. So who among the following who among the following heads the joint sitting of Indian Parliament for transacting a legislative business in our parliament, right? So what is the right answer? The right answer is option number D, that is Speaker of the Lok Sabha. So the joint sitting of the Indian Parliament for transacting a legislative business is presided over by the Speaker of the Lok Sabha, and the joint sitting is called by the President. So this you need to remember, that it is headed by the Speaker of the Lok Sabha, but it is called by the President of India. So this you need to remember. Now let's move to the question number 2. So question number 2 is, who administers the oath of office to the President? So who of the following administers the oath of office to the President of India? So your options are the Prime Minister, the Vice President, the Chief Election Commissioner, the Chief Justice of India, or the Speaker of Lok Sabha. So what is the right answer? Kindly comment, friends. One more request: if you are expected to make you are expected to participate in the session, you have to participate basically here, because these sessions are conducted for you to make all mistakes here, to gain something from here, because you are not supposed to make mistakes in your actual examination. So we do not have any provision of negative marking. No one is going to judge you. You just need to comment. I will say that make a blind comment. Even if you have no idea about the question, you just need to make a blind comment, because once you make a mistake, you will definitely not repeat that mistake in future, right? That is why we are saying that keep commenting, keep participating in the session. So what is the right answer for question number 2? So the right answer is option number D, that is Chief Justice of India, right? So in order to assume his or her duties, the president-elect must recite the oath of office, and the oath is administered by the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of India. Right, friends? Now let's move to the question number third. So the question number third is, if the office of the president falls vacant, except due to the expiry of his term, it is to be filled within how much time? That is 1 year, 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, or 9 months. So what can be the right answer for question number third? So the right answer is option number D, that is 6 months, right? Within 6 months. So as per Article 62, an election to fill a vacancy in the office of president occurring by reason of his death, resignation or removal or otherwise shall be held as soon as possible after, and in no case later than 6 months from the date of occurrence of the vacancy. Right, friends? So that is to be made within 6 months of occurrence of a vacancy. Now let's move to the question number fourth. So the question number fourth is, the procedure for the impeachment of the president is laid down in which article of our Indian Constitution? So your options are Article 62, Article 61, Article 64, Article 63, or Article 65. So what is the right answer? The right answer is option number B, that is, it is mentioned in Article 61. So the procedure for the impeachment of the president is mentioned in Article 61 of the Constitution. Right, friends? Now let's move to the question number fifth. So question number fifth is, the allotment of seats in the Rajya Sabha from states and union territories has been given in which schedule of the Constitution of India? So your options are third schedule, fourth schedule, seventh schedule, ninth schedule, or 10th schedule. So what can be the right answer? Friends, schedules are very important, especially schedules of Indian constitutions are very important, because many a times questions are asked from the schedules itself. So what is the right answer for question number fifth? So the right answer is option number B, that is fourth schedule. So the fourth schedule contains provision as to the allocation of seats in the Council of States, which is also called Rajya Sabha. So friends, the homework for today is that you have to tell the third schedule, about the third schedule, seventh schedule, ninth schedule, and 10th schedule of our Indian Constitution, right? So you have to make comment regarding the schedule of 3rd, 7th, 9th, and 10th. This is your homework and you have to do this, right? We will definitely discuss in next session. And we will show the names of the aspirants who will make the comment related to the homework which I am providing to you in this session. Now question number 6. So if the Speaker of the State Legislative Assembly decides to resign, he should submit his resignation to who of the following? Your options are Chief Minister, Deputy Speaker, Judge of the High Court, President, or Deputy Speaker of the Legislative Assembly of that state. So what is the right answer for question number 6? So the right answer is option number E, that is Deputy Speaker of the Legislative Assembly of that state. So if you read the article 179, then you will get to know that whenever if a speaker wants to resign, he will give the notice to deputy speaker, and also if deputy speaker wants to resign, he will give notice of his resignation to the speaker itself, right? So this you have to have idea. Being a law graduate, you are expected to have these kind of minute details, right? So this is mentioned under Article 179 of our Indian Constitution. You can read the explanation from here itself. Now let's move to the question number 7. So question number 7 is, to whom can a case of dispute in the election of the president be referred? If any dispute is occurred regarding the election of the president, then who can resolve that dispute? Your options are Chief Election Commissioner, Parliament, Supreme Court of India, Election Commission, or Vice President. So the right answer is option number C, that is Supreme Court of India. So according to Article 71, you have to remember the article as well, because article is very important here. So according to Article 71 of the Constitution, all doubts and disputes arising out of or in connection with the election of a president or vice president shall be inquired into and decided by the Supreme Court of India, right? So these have to be inquired, these have to be decided by the Supreme Court of India. Now let's move to the question number 8. So the question number 8 is, which of the following types of bills can become law despite the disapproval of the Rajya Sabha? So I think though this question is quite easy, but sometimes aspirants make mistake in making these questions right, in attempting these questions. So what is the right answer for question number 8? Your options are financial bills, ordinary bills, money bills, constitutional amendment bills, or none of the above. So the right answer for question number 8 is option number C, that is money bills, right? So provisions related to money bills is mentioned under Article 110 of the Constitution. So money bill may only be introduced in the Lok Sabha on the recommendation of the President. It must be passed in Lok Sabha by a simple majority of all members present and voting. Following this, it may be sent to the Rajya Sabha for its recommendations, which Lok Sabha may reject if it chooses to. That is, the recommendations of Rajya Sabha can be rejected by the Lok Sabha itself. If such recommendations are not given within 14 days, so it will be deemed to be passed by the parliament, right? So this will be deemed to be passed by the parliament. Now let's move to the question number 9. So the question number 9 is, a judge of the Supreme Court can be removed from office only on grounds of, so here is gross inefficiency, imbecile conduct, proven misbehavior or incapacity, senility, or none of the above. So on the basis of which ground, the judge of a Supreme Court can be removed? What is the right answer for question number 9? So the right answer for question number 9 is option number C, that is on the ground of proven misbehavior or incapacity. So Supreme Court justices cannot be easily removed from the office. The only conditions that can be grounds for their removal are proven misbehavior and incapacity to act as a judge. Right, friends? Now let's move to the last question of today, that is question number 10. So the question number 10 is, the Chief Justice and other judges of the Supreme Court can be removed from their office by an order of the President passed after, so your options are, an address by each house supported by the majority of the members present and voting has been presented to him, a resolution of both houses passed by 2/3 majority of total membership is presented to him. Then option number C is, a resolution passed by 2/3 majority of total membership of Lok Sabha is presented to him. Option number D is, an address by each house supported by a majority of the total membership of that house and not less than 2/3 of the members present and voting has been presented to the President. And the last option is none of the above. So what can be the right answer here for question number 10? So the right answer is option number D. Right, that is, an address by each house supported by a majority of total membership of that house and not less than 2/3 of members present and voting has been presented to the President. So this is the right answer. You can read the explanation from here, right? So this is about the question number 10. That is the important questions, the important MCQs from the part 10 of our Indian Constitution. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the session. You guys have learned something from this session. So we'll meet in another session with a very good content, with a very good quality content. Till then, goodbye and have a good day, friends.